Sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that.
I'm not going to call P. Diddy a bitch. 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 P. Diddy a bitch.
Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah. Sean Combs is a bitch. They bitches too. Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah. Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah.
You don't hit women when you're a man. You don't hit women when you're a man. P. Diddy a bitch. 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 P. Diddy a bitch.
Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah.
I'm not going to call P. Diddy a bitch or any other name like that. But I ain't gonna stop anybody else from doing it. I'm not gonna malign them. P. Diddy a bitch. 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 P. Diddy.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Sunday Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. All right, hello, Giggles. Above all that drama. All right, Adrian is here. All right, We the People is in the house. Byron Cook is here. All right, everyone hit that like button. I see you, Battle Axe. Shout out to all of my loyal royals and shout out to my moderators putting in work. All right, Juju is in the house. Okay, so let's get into it. Noah, Lisa is here. All right, Beatrice is in the house. Okay, so let's talk about it. Now, before we get started, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so with that all been said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so now let's get into it because Jay-Z is keeping his foot on Tony Busby's neck, on his neck. So let's talk about it. Okay, likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. That is the one way you can support this live stream for free. Okay, so let's talk about it because days ago I told you all that the lawsuit against Diddy and Jay-Z, with Jane Doe filed by Tony Busby, claims that she was 13 years old and all of that, that has been dismissed, dropped, okay, with prejudice, so it can't be refiled. Now, I told you all also that there was no settlement agreement, okay, and that was obvious because of what Alex Spiro said after the fact in his statement. He said Jay-Z didn't pay Tony Busby one red cent. He didn't give him a dime. So there was no settlement behind closed doors or anything of that nature. And, I guess because some people possibly think that there was, Jay-Z had to come out and confirm it. Jay-Z confirms he didn't pay assault accuser to drop her lawsuit. And, that wouldn't have made sense anyway, because I already told you guys that if Jay-Z just wanted to pay to have this thing go away, he could have done that quietly behind closed doors. And no one would ever heard about it. Okay, remember, you heard that here first. Because at the end of the day, why would it make sense for him to spend all this money fighting this case and then filing all of these complaints against Busby, and then for him to only go ahead and give her some money? What he could have done in the first place, like I said. So that made no sense. Now, Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, has clarified that the legendary rapper didn't pay out any money to the anonymous woman who accused him and Diddy of allegedly raping her back in 2000. Some people were so sure that Jay-Z was guilty, mind you, because I said, Jay-Z may not be guilty of this, but I think he's guilty of some other things. But there were some people who thought he was so guilty, in fact, that they thought maybe the year was wrong. Maybe it wasn't the year 2000, it was year 2003. Okay, just trying to paint narratives. Now, with that all being said, the clarification comes after she voluntarily dropped the case on Friday. And in a statement reflecting on the legal battle, Spiro wrote that the case should have never been brought forward in the first place, saying the false case against Jay-Z should never have been brought. It has been dismissed with prejudice, okay, by standing up in the face of a heinous and false allegations. Jay has done what few can. He pushed back. He never settled. He never paid one red penny. He triumphed and cleared his name. The Jane Doe dismissing her case with prejudice implies she cannot refile her suit later on. Okay, so there you have it. And if you ask me, here's the thing. I think that she probably wanted it dismissed because she was afraid of being made to look like a fool and a liar. Now, I don't know whether she was lying, but we all know that there were some inconsistencies in her story, as I've said before. And with that all being said, she probably started feeling like, okay, I don't really have too much of a leg to stand on. The people that could corroborate my story are not corroborating it, like her father, like the guys from Good Charlotte that she claims she was talking to. And then also, not to mention, the person who brought her there and dropped her off, allegedly, that person's dead. I mean, how convenient is that? So at the end of the day, I think she probably decided to just go ahead and drop it because she saw it probably wasn't going to go anywhere. And there was already a motion to dismiss. And I think that's a safe face rather than taking the chance of having the case dismissed by a judge, which would show that it didn't have enough merit, there wasn't enough evidence or whatever, or that they probably figured, or she figured, let's just go ahead and drop it. Now, that's my opinion. I don't know if Tony Busby persuaded her to or whatever, but I think that's probably just the gist of it. And here's the thing. Some people have been asking, and I'm kind of confused as to why they're asking this question, but some people have been asking when they're reporting on this, why was the lawsuit dropped against Diddy also? They're like, why would Busby drop the lawsuit against Diddy and Jay-Z? Why not just Jay-Z? Well, I'm sorry. That's an obtuse question to me, because the reason it was dropped against Diddy is because it was against Diddy and Jay-Z. So if it's a lawsuit brought forward against both of these people, and then it's deemed that there's not enough evidence or there's too many inconsistencies and it just doesn't have enough to stand up in court for them to feel like they can win, well, of course they're going to drop it on both of them. How dumb would that be for them to still try to sue Diddy with the same amount of evidence that they had, with Jay-Z? But they don't have enough for Jay-Z, so they're going to drop his case, but go forward with Diddy. That makes no sense. So I don't know why people are asking that, but that's a nonsensical question to me. I mean, it's pretty much common sense. You don't even need critical thinking skills to figure that out. It's dropping both of them because it doesn't have enough merit, apparently. or for whatever reason, if there was any type of negotiations or anything that happened, and I'm not saying a settlement because we already know there wasn't, but if there was any type of talkings or any kind of discussions or whatever that just led them, the two attorneys, to say, you know what, we're going to go ahead and drop it. Well, which I don't think that's the case, but even if that were the case, it would still have to be dropped against both of them. How do you proceed forward when the accuser literally accused Diddy and Jay-Z and Celebrity B, whomever that is, okay, which I always thought it was J-Lo from what Alex Spiro said. So, you know, at the end of the day, that's why it was dropped on Diddy, for anybody who was wondering. I mean, it wouldn't make sense to proceed with Diddy and then let Jay-Z just get off the hook. Because if she was lying, and I'm not saying that she was, but if the accuser was lying about Jay-Z, well, she would likely have been lying about Diddy and Celebrity B as well. Or if she was so confused that she can't remember everything that happened, wouldn't that still apply? Okay, so I'm just saying that just makes sense to me that both of them were let off. And another thing is Jay-Z was pretty ticked off because he seems to think that Tony Busby, and you know, this is likely the case because Jay-Z and Tony Busby were both flexing their muscles. They were both caught up with their egos. You know, Jay-Z filed against Tony Busby for extortion and blackmail. And then Busby comes out and basically goes in on Jay-Z. It was a back and forth. And remember how Busby didn't say Jay-Z's name at first, then he puts his name out there and all of this stuff. So they were both just flexing their muscles as far as I'm concerned. But Jay-Z seems to think that the reason, here it is right here. Now, this is what Jay-Z said in his filing. He said, he alleged that the case was deliberately filed during the premiere of Mufasa, the film in which his daughter Blue Ivy was starring, forcing him to choose between supporting his daughter or dealing with the negative media attention. Okay. He said he really felt like Busby was placing a gun to his head in that moment by putting him in that type of predicament. Okay. He said that either I bow to his demands or endure personal and financial harm or ruin. And so he's very upset about it. That's why he's suing. And he amended that lawsuit yet again. He says that Busby intentionally inflicted emotional distress by bringing forward those allegations. Okay, so that all being said, and the lawsuit filed by Busby and Antiogoan Curtis accused Jay-Z and Diddy. I know I said that person's name wrong. Antigone or whatever. Anyway, accused Diddy and Jay-Z of assaulting this woman when she was 13 at an MTV Video Music Awards after party in 2000. However, the case was voluntarily dismissed on Valentine's Day by Busby and Curtis after several inconsistencies were found in the evidence. Now, here's the thing. Don't you think that they already knew about inconsistencies in the evidence in the first place? How could they not if they really vetted her as they said? Now, Tony Busby said that he vetted that young woman and that she was at another law office and vetted by them as well. So anyway, you know, like I told you all, Jay-Z is happy this happened, and Diddy has expressed that he's thrilled that it happened, but Diddy not so fast. Because you see, Tony Busby has 7 more lawsuits. Okay, 7 more lawsuits against Diddy, so let's talk about it. It's not time for Diddy to try to pop out any champagne and celebrate anything at this point. Okay, you're in jail, Diddy, and you're going to stay there for quite some time and hopefully be transferred to prison after your trial is over. Okay, Houston attorney Tony Busby filed 7 more lawsuits against Sean P. Diddy Combs for alleged sexual misconduct. Now, this is breaking news. Okay, this came out just hours ago. All right, so over the weekend, prominent Houston-based attorney Tony Busby announced on social media more action taken against music mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs. Busby said that his firm has filed 7 lawsuits in New York State court against Combs, alleging more cases of assault, battery, and exploitation, and several other defendants are named in these lawsuits. So they got more defendants. This is about to get real messy. Okay. Now, according to Busby's Facebook page, these new lawsuits involve incidents that go back more than 2 decades, spanning coast to coast. One new lawsuit being filed by Busby allegedly involved a minor. Now, the cases filed this week are being brought for conduct that allegedly occurred as far back as the year 1999 and as recent as 2022. Now, the egregious conduct alleged in these filings occurred in Los Angeles, Miami, and New York City. 3 of the plaintiffs are males and 4 of the plaintiffs are females. One of the victims was only 15 at the time of the alleged exploitation. As has been our practice, he says, we will let the allegations in these filed complaints speak for themselves, and we will work to see that justice is done in court. As we approach an important deadline, we expect to be filing additional cases naming Mr. Combs and others as defendants as we continue to gather evidence and prepare formal filings. Now, at our firm, we have a large team working on these important matters. We continue to field many calls daily from alleged victims and potential witnesses. We have been assisted in this regard by colleagues in both New York and LA. If you believe you were victimized or if you have pertinent evidence, we encourage you to reach out. We will proudly continue to lead this effort and are proud of those who have had the courage to speak out and make their voices heard. Okay, so they say just last week on February the 10th, Busby wrote on Facebook about another lawsuit filed against Diddy after he allegedly gave illegal substances to a musician, an aspiring musician, and then assaulted him. So the Busby law firm filed another lawsuit in New York alleging sexual assault and battery. Several other defendants are named in that suit as well. The case is brought on behalf of plaintiff John Doe, who at the time was a young musician living in Los Angeles, playing shows and trying to earn a record deal. This new case alleges that a talent scout from defendant Sean P. Diddy Combs invited John Doe to an A-list birthday party, arranged for Doe's pickup in a private car, and then personally waited for him to arrive at the event. Now, once Doe arrived, Combs approached him, handed him a drink allegedly laced with illegal substances, and pretended to be interested in discussing Doe's career. Combs then allegedly took Doe into a separate room of the house and forcibly raped him. This is just another of many cases that will be filed before the end of the month. The Busby law firm will continue to proudly lead the civil efforts in this important litigation as we pursue these claims in court and ensure the victims have a voice that is heard. Okay, so Diddy, looks like you're in a whole bunch of trouble. I mean, let us not forget that Busby did say months ago that he was going to be filing at least 120 lawsuits against Diddy. I don't think he's going to get up to 120. Okay, when Busby said 120, then he said 60 males and 60 females. I told y'all right then that he was playing games with numerology. Okay, I told you all right then that's what he was doing, because he hasn't filed nearly 120 at this point, even though he has filed a myriad of them. Okay, so please take note of that. Now, this whole thing is getting real messy, like I told you guys. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Adrian said, I don't think she decided anything. Okay, above all that drama, said, plus her daddy can't remember picking her up. Right. Re-educated Soul said, it would seem right to drop both. Shaking my head, nonsense. I mean, exactly, because why would you have one of them? You know. Okay. Noah said, LOL, Scott's free celebrity B. Okay. You know, here's the thing. I'm still not going to count Busby out. I'm still not going to count Busby out. I'm curious as to what's coming out next and these new lawsuits. I really wish I had a bird's eye view to know exactly why Busby decided to drop that lawsuit all of a sudden, okay, right before the deadline. Now, Adrian says, Queen, Jay-Z and Busby tried to include him assaulting that 15-year-old boy. Oh, yes, he did say that. Thank you for bringing that up. Right, now, that's something we had not heard about before, okay, about the 15-year-old boy. But remember, I told you all like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago there was another minor. Remember, do you all once in the chat, if you all remember me saying this a few weeks ago, I said there has to be another minor involved in this situation with Jay-Z? Because Alex Spiro specifically said, because see, I always pay attention to what people say. That's how I knew that there was no settlement, because what Alex Spiro said in his statement. I pointed that out days ago. Okay, now everybody's just catching up. But I told you all about 2 or 3 weeks ago, if you remember, once in the chat, if you do remember, when I told you guys there's got to be another minor that Busby wants to accuse Jay-Z of, because Alex Spiro said in a statement, he said something along the lines of Busby's coming at Jay-Z, or a high-profile celebrity like Jay-Z or something. And then he said, accusing him of inappropriate relations with minors. And I pointed out to you guys that he said minors with an S. He didn't say singular. He used plural. So I said there must be some other minors that he's trying to accuse Jay-Z of. So you all are putting one, so you all remember. Okay, please pay attention. I'm just telling you guys, I always pay attention to semantics. Okay? I listen very closely to what people say, because if you pay attention to what a person's saying, you can find other little breadcrumbs sometimes. Okay? Please pay attention. Now, with that all been said, we'll see how this all transpires, but I find it very interesting because at the end of the day, yeah, there was a 15-year-old minor that Busby felt like Jay-Z had something to do with it, okay? So likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, and here's the thing. What is going on with that case? What is going on with that case? Because we don't know. Like I told you guys, I'm not counting Tony Busby out right now. Tony Busby is still a good attorney. Okay, everybody makes some mistakes. Maybe he made some mistakes in this case or whatever. But at the end of the day, he's still a good attorney. I mean, award winning. So I'm not going to go in on him. You see, you have to pay attention when people are sitting there praising somebody. Then all of a sudden, that person does one thing that they don't like, or that people are criticizing them for, and now all of a sudden, that person totally flips the script. That's a flip-flopper. Okay, stand on what you said. And if you can't stand on what you said and you're just a flip-flopper, those are usually people who use other people's talking points and really not just their own. Okay, please pay attention. Okay, please pay attention. All right, they'll say what other people say because they're not sure enough of what they say or think. And so you'll find these are people who flip-flop. Okay, I don't need to call any names. I'm sure we all know who I'm talking about. All right, so with that all been said, now let's talk about this government bullshit that's going on. Okay, let's talk about the government BS that is going on, because Trump and Elon Musk are digging up dirt, pulling out bones and all this stuff. Now, I don't trust Trump or Elon Musk, but I also don't trust these other politicians either. And let's not forget how Auntie Maxine said the other day, we don't know what all they got on us. She said that. I still can't believe it, and it's absolutely classic. We don't know what all they've got on us. Well, Maxine, it looks like they've got you off for money laundering, beloved. That's what it looks like to me. Because if you think that I believe that they spent the money on the things that they're lying, in my opinion, and saying that they spent it on, I don't think so. I absolutely don't think so. But let's talk about some of this, because now they're all mad at Trump because he's changed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Trump is shaking things up. I want you all to pay attention. Trump is purposely causing a whole bunch of chaos and ruckus. Okay, think about how he wants to take back possession of the Panama Canal. He wants to make Canada the 51st state. Okay, he's changed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and then also he wants to buy the Gaza Strip. I mean, this man is really doing a whole lot. So let's talk about it, because here's one of the things that I found interesting. Likes up, everyone, please don't forget to like and share. This is how you know they're full of crap, because they want us to think. They want us to think that they spent $20 million on this. Let me share my screen so you all can hear this. Now, if you all believe this, then I have some beachfront property to sell you in Alaska. Okay, please pay attention. Now, listen to this. They spent $20 billion on this foolishness. I don't believe it.
We spent $20 billion to freak out a bunch of pets.
Injecting puppies with cocaine, staging hamster fight clubs, putting dead turtles on treadmills. Cats have marbles shoved up their rectums and are electroshocked to make them defecate in constipation experiments. Examine the effects of party drugs on animals injected with testosterone.
A hamster fight club, $20 billion is what Trump asked Congress for to build the border wall. We did this instead.
Now, do y'all think they really spent that money on that? Do y'all really think they had a hamster fight club? Do y'all think they really spent $20 billion on that? I don't think so. That sounds like a convenient lie. That's what that sounds like, a damn lie. Like, what did they really spend that money on? That money's in their bank accounts. How much you want to bet? Come on, make that make sense. Okay? Injecting animals with illegal substances for what purpose again? Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. They're absolutely engaged in corruption and fraud. That's a fact. That's what the government did. Now let's listen to this report. These people are something else. Now this, hold on. I'm going to share my screen. This is also nefarious.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio will lead the delegation. I am hopeful that the results of that meeting will be positive. It is time to stop this ridiculous war where there has been massive and totally unnecessary death and destruction. God bless the people of Russia and Ukraine. I myself just spoke to the president about these calls, and he told me to tell all of you they were very good calls. They were very positive, and the administration is wholeheartedly committed to a peace deal to end once and for all the Russia-Ukraine war. More on that later. I'm sure you'll have more questions to ask. This week, the president has continued to deliver on his promises to the American people. According to new polling that was released at the beginning of this week by CBS News, an overwhelming 70% of Americans said that President Trump is following through on what he pledged to do during his historic campaign. The poll also revealed that Americans see President Trump as a tough, energetic, focused, and effective leader fighting hard to improve their lives and our country. And yesterday, in particular, was a truly special day for the United States of America. Thanks to the great leadership of President Trump and the strong and tough leadership of President Trump, Mark Fogel, an American teacher detained by Russia, was returned to American soil and met with the president here at the White House last night. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and the rest of President Trump's incredible national security team helped to negotiate the exchange that secured Mark Fogel's release. This event showed a good faith effort from Russia, and it's a sign, as I just said, that we are moving in the right direction to end this brutal war. Malphine Fogel, Mark's 95-year-old mother, was understandably very...
Okay, I think I heard about enough of that, but I wanted to, this was, I wanted you all to hear the part where she said that the government is absolutely engaging in fraud. Okay, that's what she said, that they're absolutely engaging in fraud, and I believe it. Because I told you all last week it sounds like money laundering. Okay, that's exactly what that sounds like to me. They can miss me with it, talking about they're funding these terrorist organizations that have ties to Al-Qaeda, feeding them sandwiches, no less. This is what they're doing? Why would they be doing that? I have several questions. Y'all don't think that's treason?
She has the best explanation of why all of the mass panic in DC right now. You can tell that everybody who has been on the take is freaking TF out. Like, it is literal crash out on the Democrat side. And she has the best take on it. And I want you to hear it because it is nothing shy than amazing.
If we want to save money, people are going to get upset. Why are they getting upset? Because we're taking money out of their pockets. The best thing that Elon Musk is going to do is going to look at people's salaries and say, okay, if you make X amount of money and you're worth $68 million, we're going to look at why that is. And that's really the bottom line, because we could talk about everything, every executive order, but there is a panic in DC at this moment.
Now, isn't this what I told you guys last week? Isn't that what I told you guys? I said, how the hell are these politicians like Maxine Waters, okay, Nancy Pelosi, how are they making hundreds of thousands of dollars per year, but yet they're multi-millionaires, $50 and $60 million? Yeah, where's all this money coming from? Yeah, I think we're finding out slowly but surely, but let's keep listening. This is exactly what I was talking about.
where I now live, and it is very simple. We are cutting them off from their funding. And that means politicians, not just saving taxpayer dollars. And that's where the panic is coming from. It's pretty basic. In our administration, we have a tremendous amount of billionaires who are successful businessmen. And I could name them all, but we know who they are, who have taken a leave, sold their companies, walked away from their lives to sacrifice to help America be great again. There are many, many. Now, Elon's become a target for one very simple reason, because he is cutting the funding to these politicians who have put their bureaucratic, personal financial gain and interest above the American people. Yeah. That is the difference. That may not be felt by some of the other people that are in the administration that have done the same thing that Elon does, that are incredibly successful billionaires. But they are targeting him because he is cutting their lifeline, their financial. Listen, Nancy made how much money? And we're going to go down the line of looking at all these people. There is no reason, as a federal employee, me included, I shouldn't walk out richer from the federal government. That should not be the case.
That's right. That shouldn't be the case. Giggle says the kicker is it's none of Elon's effing business what people make. RG Titan said Elon Musk has absolutely no business being involved in government business, in my opinion. Well, here's the thing. He does. Okay. Thank you for purchasing a membership, beloved. He does have business because Trump gave him business. Now, we may not like it. We may not agree that DOGE is even a legit entity or organization, but Trump is the president. That's what he decided to do. Now, even if Elon, as far as you're concerned, doesn't have any business digging into government spending, Trump does. And here's the thing. We should all be curious as to what the hell they've been spending all these billions and trillions of dollars on. Because guess what? They haven't spent it on our reparations. So I don't care if Elon has any business digging in their affairs or not. I'm glad that he is, because I want to know what the hell they've been hiding. What have they been doing with all that cash? They want to give us a reparations study. And matter of fact, speaking of that, they've come up with that again, another reparations study. While they spend money on bullshit, feeding Al-Qaeda sandwiches, Sesame Street over in Iran, injecting animals with Coca-Cola, and I'm not talking about the kind you drink. Yeah, I have a whole lot of questions. So quite frankly, at the end of the day, somebody needed to expose it. And I'm glad that it's all coming out, because the Democrats are nothing more than hypocrites. Okay, let's not defend the very people who are sucking up money out of the American citizens, out of our pockets. Okay, our tax dollars. These are your and my tax dollars. Y'all don't care. Y'all are so more upset about Elon digging there and finding out the stuff, because I'm not. Somebody needs to find it out, and I don't care who it is. I want to know what the hell's going on. And how come we keep getting all these fake, bogus reparation studies? We're not getting compensated like everybody else. And some of these people didn't even have their atrocities happen on American soil. But y'all got money to send over there to Iran for Sesame Street. That's what they have money to do. Yeah, make it all make sense.
And I open you up to look, because it's not going to happen. You don't do it. The only reason they're screaming about Elon, it's very simple. Nobody has said it, and I'm going to say it. It's because they're hitting their pockets. Only reason they're screaming about Elon. They're not screaming about Howard Lutnick. They're not screaming about Burton. They're not screaming about those billionaires. They're screaming about him. And that's because he's going in and hitting where it hurts. So you know what happens when you scream and when you sing songs outside at a rally, which...
And let me say this, Evelyn says facts. What's the difference between him having access to our data, that any person they put in there will have access to our data? Exactly. This is the thing. See, this is what the U.S. does, specifically the Democrats. They always want to sit up here and talk about data breaches and your data's being shared and this, that, and the third. They did the same thing as it pertains to TikTok, talking about, oh, China's going to have our data. If China has our data, then what? If they have our data, then what? How many people already have our data? How many times have there been data breaches? Let's talk about it. Meta, aka Facebook, Zuckerberg. Did they get all that upset about when he had this issue? See, the thing is, they like to fearmonger and they like to paint narratives. The real reason they're upset about Elon going in there, it's not because he's just in there to see the data, because they don't want him to see what all they've been doing. And all of this stuff is now coming out to the forefront. And it's a problem for them. And he's messing up their cash flow. That's how that's going to work. This is messing up their cash flow, because how are y'all making all this money? You know, you're making hundreds of thousands. That's a lot of money. That should be good. But why are you getting all this other money? Where's this all going? This is nothing but greed. Okay, and it needs to be stopped. Something needs to be done about it. We need to know. They need to be put on blast. That's what they need. Okay, I have no sympathy or empathy for them. They're a bunch of hypocrites. Okay, wasteful spending, doing corrupt or illegal things, in my opinion, treasonous things, if what they say is even true, that they've been giving money to terrorist organizations. How the hell is the United States funding terrorism? But at the same time, they're supposed to be fighting it. How does that make any sense? If you ask me, if that's true, they need to be locked up just like the people who rioted at the Capitol on January the 6th. Okay? Because they're terrorists too. Anyway, DSB just gifted the channel 5 memberships. Thank you, beloved, for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. You all be sure to shout DSB out, especially if you get one of those memberships.
By the way, what are you doing on the American taxpayer dollars creating songs against the Republican Party? It's bizarre. But when you're doing things like that, that says to me one very simple thing. We have hit your Achilles heel, and we will continue to hit you. We will look at why our children are not educated. We will look at why our children have an increase in ADHD. We will look at why our borders are not safe, why our security is crazy, and why there is fentanyl crisis right now in our country that we have never seen. Because illegal immigrants were supposed to come in and vote for Kamala Harris, but it didn't work out for them. So they are panicking.
Yeah.
And Elon may be triggering just a little bit of insecurity, which is that they are worried about us looking at exactly what they have done and exactly how much they have made. And that is now stopping. And it's a panic.
It is a panic. And what she said is true. They let all of these illegals come flooding across the borders because they thought that was going to help them win. And it didn't help. So now look at them. Yeah, they're panicked. Like Auntie Maxine said, we don't know what all they have on us. That's forever going to be classic. Pay attention.
Very simple.
And I love that so much for them. Like, it couldn't have happened to a nicer group of people. And the fact that there are lots of people who have put their extremely successful lives on hold. Bobby Kennedy, Donald Trump, so many people, literally so many people. Elon Musk. I mean, it is not lost on me that, like, that $400 million contract that all the liberals are freaking out about right now. They're like, well, he's going to make all these armored cars for $400 million. Tell me it's not a conflict of interest. Well, it's not a conflict of interest. When Biden awarded him that contract, do a little bit of research. Like, it's not hard. And Trump actually made that contract now an open bid because it is a conflict of interest. So where's your video now, Miss Scarfneck lady? You know, it's so stupid. And I just cannot praise them enough. Like, y'all are doing the best job that we voted for, and you're doing everything that we wanted. And so all this other stuff is just noise. And everything that Alina Howe said is absolutely true. But that's just my opinion. What do you think? Are they doing the right thing? Are they hitting them in the pocketbooks? Is it all for show? Is it really happening? Let me know what you think in the comments, because I don't know everything. I believe that is the reason why they are screaming, because they are the ones who have been on the take for the most, and this is hurting them the most.
I have to absolutely agree. I do think that's why there's all this uproar, and that's why the Democrats are so upset and so mad. Now, with that all being said, I don't agree with everything that Trump and Elon are doing, because some of the stuff they're doing is just causing a bunch of problems, okay? Some of the things they're doing is causing a bunch of problems. For example, this whole thing with the IRS. Now, Trump's not getting rid of the IRS, okay? But a lot of people from the IRS are going to be unemployed, okay? Hold on, let me pull this up. A lot of these people are going to be out of jobs, and this is not the time for it, because as we all know, it is tax season. IRS to slash thousands of workers off the payroll. So the Internal Revenue Service is reportedly cutting thousands of probationary workers as tax season ramps up, okay? And this is according to, hold on, this is according to the Associated Press. Now, the announcement comes just days after the Trump administration instructed agencies to fire most probationary workers who have not secured civil service protection. Now, the layoffs could potentially impact hundreds of thousands of people, although the exact number has not yet been confirmed. So in addition to the probationary cuts, President Donald Trump announced on January the 29th that the federal employees would be fired if they did not return to in-person work by early February. Now, a buyout offer, which has been extended, has already been accepted by about 65,000 employees. Now, I told you all this like a week ago. Now, the Associated Press reported that the IRS employees involved in the 2025 tax season, which began on January the 27th, are not eligible for the buyout until after the taxpayer filing deadline, according to a letter sent recently to IRS employees. So the Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE, which is tasked with eliminating wasteful government spending and increasing efficiency, aims to cut $2 trillion from the federal government budget by eliminating programs and trimming the federal workforce. Now, in January, the IRS announced it was working to continue the success of the 2023 and 2024 tax filing season made possible with additional resources. And so the Biden administration's Democrats' Inflation Reduction Act devoted $80 billion to hire 87,000 new IRS agents, according to a September 2023 report from the House Oversight Committee. Now, the Oversight Committee claims that the funds were used to employ agents that specifically targeted middle-class Americans. Do y'all hear this? Let me read that again. Claimed that the funds were used to employ agents that specifically targeted middle-class Americans. Y'all heard that? Specifically targeted. Now, the past two filing seasons saw levels of service at roughly 85% and wait times averaging less than 5 minutes on the main phone lines, according to a statement from the IRS in January. There was also a significant increase in the number of taxpayers served at taxpayer assistance centers nationwide. They say this has been a historic period of improvement for the IRS, and people will see additional tools and features to help them with filing their taxes this tax season. This is what IRS Commissioner Danny Werfel wrote in a statement, saying these taxpayer-focused improvements that we've done so far are important, but they are just the beginning of what the IRS needs to do. More can be done with continued investment in the nation's tax system. Okay, so maybe I was wrong, because from the sounds of it, this likely isn't going to cause a big problem, but I think it may cause a little disruption in the tax season, but not anything serious, because I don't think, at least, because they're saying that the employees involved in the 2025 tax season, which started January the 27th, are not eligible for the buyout until after the taxpayer filing deadline. So they're going to have people to be doing the taxes and getting all the paperwork and everything done. Okay, so that's a relief, because I was like, honey, this stuff gets all backed up. People are just going to be going crazy. Okay, but here's something else I thought was interesting. Now, out of all of this money that the government has been wasting on foolishness, let's talk about it, because here's the thing. They're saying that Elon also found out that they have been sending money, the USAID, that is, has been allegedly sending money over to Venezuela to help people become drag queens. Now, what's wrong with that? Well, nothing if you want to be a drag queen, I'm sure. But the problem is that should not be prioritized over feeding starving people in a country, which it apparently has. And so I'm going to go to the report on this. Everyone, please like and share. Okay, like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go. This is all nefarious, honey. Are y'all listening?
Completely and absolutely embarrassing. My name is Maria Salazar. I'm the chairman of the Western Hemisphere Committee, subcommittee here in the House Foreign Affairs Committee. And I am very distraught, because some of the programs that we have been talking about come from the region that I represent. Many people in South Florida that come from those countries of origin, Guatemala, Venezuela, and Peru. So I understand, Mr. Inaccio's, that that you do not agree with the way that Elon Musk has conducted his investigation into USAID. But I do believe, coming from the world of television, that you are judged by the results, not by the process. And Musk has discovered things that are completely and absolutely embarrassing. And in my, specifically in the region that I'm saying that I'm representing a lot of constituents. So I want to salute you because you said that you did the job, you were the administrator, that you went line by line, that you were cleaning up the different programs, that you took your job very seriously. But apparently we are in different times. And I'm just going to share with you within the time that I have 3 programs coming from Latin America, which I think that are highly embarrassing. Let's start with Venezuela. And here's the video that Chairman played before. Venezuelans, they're fleeing Marxism. They're hungry. The average Venezuelan weighs 15 pounds less because of lack of food. We know that Chavez has destroyed the country. They make it to Ecuador. They're tired. And then they encounter the United States, which is the beacon of hope, is offering this program to become a drag queen. So I think there's something wrong with that picture. And I'm not sure if we can play it again, but I just wanted your opinion.
Well, that particular program was a State Department program. And I have great respect for the State Department, but I think it's appalling they did it, to be very frank with you.
So you do not agree with those $35,000
No,
invested?
I don't. I think we should stick with our basic mission.
Yeah, well, but you agree that they have not under you.
Oh,
but
no, they have not.
They have not.
And I think
so
that needs to be
I just want to
changed.
hear your thoughts because unfortunately
Just
time is
one
of the
comment,
essence. $2 million
Congresswoman.
for Native Indians in Guatemala. President Giammattei called me. I've never had a president from a country saying, I don't want the United States money. Highly conservative. These are the Native Indians in Guatemala, people who are just, flipping the tortillas and they just want to learn how to do a job, not sex change surgeries. What do you think about that?
That's beyond what this AID mission is. I don't think
Good.
we should be.
That's all we need to know. Peru, in the Amazon. This is the jungle. This is not Jeff Bezos' Amazon. This is like where people have harsh conditions. They need mosquito nets to fight malaria. So $25,000 for diversity recruitment events. What is a diversity recruitment event in the middle of the jungle?
I have no idea. Congressman, just one comment. You can move aid to do what you want by hiring a development professional, a conservative, who knows how to manage a large, complex operation. Mark Green was such a person, okay, under Trump.
But then what happened between your time and this time? Tell me, what happened?
Well, politics gets involved.
Oh, politics. But then Elon Musk comes and tries to clean politics and go back to the original mission of the program. Is that correct?
I think it would be useful if Musk and some of his staff would go to the field and see the projects.
Well,
I think
I'm
they would take a different
I'm
view.
sure they don't have time, sir, to do that. But what I'm saying is that he did something that, according to what you just explained, it brings benefit to the USAID programs.
The USAID staff do what the political appointees tell them to do.
Well,
They don't initiate these things.
They don't.
Oh.
So that means that all these directives came from the White House.
The White House, yes, and the State Department.
So that, but then the White House, the State Department responds to the White House. So you are telling me that under the Biden administration, the USAID lost its course, yes or no?
I think AID needs to be more independent of the political wars in
You just told me that the State Department is the one that directs.
Yes.
That, and the State Department responds to the White House.
That's correct.
All right, so that means then that the White House gave the wrong directives to USAID.
In my view.
In your view. Good. Thank you. Well, that's all we needed to know. So now we have a new sheriff in town called Donald Trump, and then that guy brought another guy called Elon Musk to do the job, something that no one else has done before. So why do we need to criticize him?
Because he doesn't know anything about development. He may be a genius at technology. He does not know anything about development.
But it has, wait. Development has nothing to do with what is the mission statement for USAID? Secure, prosper, and value American values.
Running
Either $2 million for the native Indians in Guatemala to change their sex surgeries has nothing to do with that.
$15 billion was spent on humanitarian assistance in emergencies and refugee camps. There's particular skills you learn in doing that. I did that.
I understand.
I know what that is.
Talking about what works. I'm talking about what does not work.
Gentlelady's time
Thank you.
expired.
I appreciate, Chairman. Thank you, sir, for your time.
I would also let you know, Ms. Salazar, that I've had numerous calls from ambassadors during the Biden administration who intend to provide us with the reprimands that they wrote against career employees who were undermining the work, doing these programs that they didn't want, but did them anyways, and the administration didn't care. And we look forward to bringing those things to light as well. The fact is clear that America would have been better off if your money had been simply thrown into a fireplace.
Okay. So with that all being said, now Giggle says Elon has ties to China. He owes China and so does the U.S. He wants to give billionaires tax cuts. Trump is already being recorded saying he's giving them tax cuts. He said, you guys are going to be rich as hell. Elon is not here for us. Well, we know Elon's not there for us. How many times have I said that? I have said that Elon is not digging up all this dirt to help us. He's doing it to help himself. I literally said that, beloved. So I'm not saying Elon is here for us, and I'm not saying Trump is either. That's beside the point as far as I'm concerned. The point is, I want to know where the money has been going. I want to know why they don't have money for the homeless crisis that we have in this country. I want to know why people have to fight and scratch for health care, okay? And it costs so much, and many people don't have adequate health care. And also, you know, why they're giving all this money or claiming that they're giving this money, billions and trillions of dollars, for bullshit. That's what I want to know. And I don't care who goes in there and finds it out. I don't need Elon or Trump to be for me, and you don't need them to be for you. But the point is, don't you want to know what the hell's going on? Because I absolutely do. I want to know what's going on, okay? I've already said I don't trust Trump or Elon. I don't trust politicians in general. Elon's not a politician, in my opinion, but nonetheless, I don't trust him. Okay, so with that all being said, the bottom line is I want to know about all of this wasteful spending. Okay, and if they're giving money to fund terrorists, which they're supposed to be fighting against, I definitely want to be privy to that information. Now, I don't care how I have to get it. I want to know, okay? At the end of the day, I don't care who the messenger is, just as long as I get the message that I want to hear. I want to know what's going on. And we all should want to know what's going on. These are our tax dollars. Why the hell are we sitting here struggling when the United States is sending billions, $20 billion over there for darn pets and foolishness? That's what they're doing. Yeah, I need to know all about it. I need to know all about it, beloved. And you should want to know about it too. This is all information that we need to know. Okay? Forget Elon and Trump. I don't care what they're up to. And here's the thing. All of these politicians, this is what they all do. Give tax breaks to the rich. I literally just read you where they said they made the segment, hired these specific employees to specifically target the middle class. That's us. That's not the rich people. That's not the millionaires and billionaires. That's us. They literally have a department and hired specific people to target us. That's what they said. So that's no surprise for me. This is what they've always done. This is what they've always done. This is nothing new. This is always the kind of BS that the government has engaged in. It's not going to stop. You see, like I keep telling you guys, all of these politicians, the Democrats and Republicans, they all have the same ultimate goal and agenda. They just have different ways of going about it. Okay, they have different ways of going about it. Now, with that all being said, this whole thing with them sending money over here for people to be drag queens, and then you got people over there starving. Y'all know that sounds crazy. Y'all don't want to know about stuff like that because I do. This is all nefarious, okay? This is all beyond ridiculous, all right? That's what it is. It's beyond ridiculous. And here's the thing. Mexico is talking about suing the United States. See, Trump's getting all this stuff out here. He's going to have everybody mad with the United States. We already had China saying they're going to sue. You know, they've already talked to the World Trade Organization, and now they got Mexico saying they're going to sue over the Gulf of America, which was previously the Gulf of Mexico. it's just all real crazy. Like Trump is doing the most. Measure Man says, wait until you see how much black church pastors got from USAID and the 150,000 each of the black pastors got from the black church PAC. That's why they are radicalizing to prevent congregations from learning of their kickbacks. Yes, and that's another thing. Like we sit up here worried about Elon Musk. Don't worry about Elon Musk. Don't worry about Trump. What we need to be focusing on is ourselves and what's going on in our communities. Because at the end of the day, no matter who's in charge of this country, we still have to do what we've always had to do, and that's survive. And the bottom line is too many of people that look like me are out here worshiping these pulpit pimps, aka their pastors, and giving them all of their money that they can't even really afford to. And then when they lose their job and they can't pay their lights or can't pay their rent or mortgage, the church hardly ever wants to help. They want to go and see how many times you've been paying your tithes on time. Okay, they don't want to give the eulogies when elders and who've been belonging to the church for decades die if they're not up to date on their tithes. And these are the people that are getting a whole lot of benefit from the government because, for one, they get a lot of benefit because they keep people stupid. They keep their members, their parishioners, basically falling for the banana in the tailpipe. That's what they do. And they're not going to tell you the truth about certain things because they have been implored not to. And this is why they don't have to pay taxes and all that cash. Trust me, that's what it is. Okay? And so you're absolutely right, Measure Man. Thank you, Giggles, for your contribution to the channel, your insight into the topic, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. And Measure Man, thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Yeah, we cannot worry about them. We have to worry about the bigger fish, like what's really going on here and how this is going to impact us. And let me tell you something else. There is likely at some point, like I keep telling you all, going to be some sort of power outage, some kind of disaster or whatever, with the power grid being attacked, cyber attacks and all this stuff. And some of this that is potentially going to happen will likely happen because of some of the people that are not in positions to work due to Trump and Elon. So just keep that in mind at the end of the day. But let's go to this report about Mexico's plans to sue the United States. Thanks a lot, Trump. I mean, he's getting us in a pickle with everybody. I just want y'all to pay attention. He's clearly making us more enemies than friends.
Mexico's president is now threatening to take legal action after President Trump changed the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum says Trump doesn't have authority to call the Gulf of America, call it the Gulf of America, because American presidents can only make those changes to the continental shelf of the U.S. But she says Mexico still has control of most of the Gulf.
In Estados Unidos, they are wrong. The entire Gulf of Mexico cannot be called the Gulf of America.
Sheinbaum says her government plans to sue Google and other big tech companies that show Gulf of America on their apps. She says it creates confusion because the maps show different names in different countries. But Google says it has a long-standing policy of changing names to reflect official government sources, and that won't change.
Okay, so y'all heard that. Now, mind you, Trump got so annoyed that the Associated Press would not call it the Gulf of America that they told him if they didn't start calling it what he wanted them to call it, they're going to be denied access to the White House. That's what he told them. Said they won't be allowed to attend any White House events. Hold on. I'm going to share my screen. Like, sub, everyone, please like and share. That's how serious he is about it. I mean, this all to me is much to do over nothing.
Largest news organizations. The Gulf in question is what's been called for 400 years the Gulf of Mexico, and what President Trump has ordered be called the Gulf of America.
The news organization is the Associated Press, whose style book is used by journalists around the world. The AP says the White House demanded that the AP follow the name change. When it did not, an AP reporter was barred from an Oval Office event.
The AP said it will continue to use Gulf of Mexico, noting the president's order carries authority only within the U.S. and as a global news agency, it must ensure place names are recognizable to all audiences. The AP said it did follow Mr. Trump's lead in changing Denali back to Mount McKinley because it lies within the U.S. and the president can change federal geographical names.
The AP protested the Oval Office ban, saying it impedes the public's access to independent news and violates a provision of the Constitution. The name of that provision, for more than 200 years, the First Amendment.
All right, so there y'all have it. End of the day. They've been calling it the Gulf of Mexico for 400 years. RG Titan says these pastor pork chops are getting that 501c3 money. Shaking my head. Yes, of course they are. Of course they are, because they're doing what the government wants them to do, and that's to keep their people fooled, okay, with half-truths, keeping them indoctrinated. That's what they're doing. Okay, please pay attention. Please pay attention. Now, China has also called out Trump. We already know they said they were going to sue days ago, but they called him out again the other day over the Gulf of America thing. Now, here's what they say. China has accused the U.S. of bullying following President Donald Trump's order to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Okay. Newsweek reached out to the White House outside office hours with an emailed request for comment. Now, why does this matter? Well, the name change made by executive order shortly after Trump took office on January the 20th has met resistance internationally over the rechristening of the Gulf, where both the U.S. and Mexico have a roughly similar length of a coastline. Now, the Associated Press said Wednesday that a reporter had been barred from the White House event over the agency's refusal to update its editorial guideline to align with the administration's order. Now, China's foreign ministry had strong words for the Trump administration when addressing the name change during its regular press briefing on Wednesday. Now, asked whether Beijing would use the term to refer to the Gulf of Mexico moving forward, spokesperson Guo Zhuokun responded, saying, "It is China's consistent position to oppose hegemonic, domineering, and bullying practices in international relations." Trump's coming off as a bully. Okay, like I told you guys, a dictator. That's what he said he wanted to be. He wants to be a king, a dictator. That's what he's looking for. And this is why he's doing all this stuff and shaking things up. I'm telling you, he's making more enemies for the United States. Now, the name change took immediate effect within the federal government and has since been adopted by the map services of Google, Microsoft, and Apple. The president has called the Gulf an indelible part of America and cited its importance to U.S. oil, fishing, and tourism. Beijing and Washington are also at loggerheads over another waterway in America, and that's the Panama Canal. Trump said China has gained control over the canal, a claim both Panama City and Beijing have both denied. Panama's president, Jose Raul Molino, recently said the country was withdrawing from China's Belt and Road Initiative after joining the International Infrastructure Plan in 2017. Molino said the decision had been made by Panama alone. Now, the Chinese Foreign Ministry said it deeply regrets Panama's decision and suggested U.S.'s smearing and sabotage was behind the move. Okay, so here's the thing. I want you all to pay attention because people are saying that Trump's out here sabotaging them. Okay, just doing the most. Now, President Donald Trump, now here's what people are saying. President Donald Trump said in his proclamation declaring February the 9th, Gulf of America Day. He said, "I took this action in part because, as stated in that executive order, the area formerly known as the Gulf of Mexico has long been an integral asset to our once burgeoning nation and has remained an indelible part of America." Now, if a country wants to change the designation of something in the sea, it would only apply up to 12 nautical miles. It cannot apply to the rest, in this case, the Gulf of Mexico. This is what we explained in detail to Google. Now, this is what the Mexican president said to reporters on January 30th. So the Gulf of Mexico has carried that name for more than 400 years. The Associated Press will refer to it by its original name while acknowledging the new name Trump has chosen. This is what the Associated Press said, which is why Trump is pissed off at them. Now, as a global news agency that disseminates news around the world, the AP must ensure that place names and geography are easily recognizable to all audiences. So it's highly unlikely China or other governments of the U.S.'s neighbors will employ the term Gulf of America. While the AP has made clear it will adopt the name in its style guide, it will use the new official designation of Alaska's Mount McKinley as it lies entirely within U.S. territory. Now, Trump, in an executive order, reversed a Barack Obama administration decision that named it Denali, which was given to North America's tallest mountain by the indigenous Kuakan people. Okay, so there y'all have it. Trump's just doing whatever he wants, okay, at the expense of everybody else, apparently. And he is being a bully. Now, some would say, oh, he has to be strong. He has to show strength and all of that. Well, he does, and that's what any good leader should do. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think that he's doing a little bit too much. I'm not sure if he's not doing too much, because this is all going to start mess with some of these other countries. I mean, y'all don't think so? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do y'all think this is going to start war? Do y'all think Trump's doing so much? And here's another thing, too, let me address. In that video, the guy said that people are talking about the conflict of interest with Elon getting that $400 million or $400 billion. I can't remember the exact amount, but for the cyber trucks. And he said that that's not a conflict of interest because Biden is the one who initially gave Elon the contract. Now, I did say that it was a conflict of interest. Hold on. I did myself say that it was a conflict of interest. But did Biden give him the contract? And then they're saying that now Trump's made an open bid, so it won't be a conflict of interest. Well, if that's the case, then what Trump did is actually better than what Biden did, if that's true, because and that's definitely what Trump had to have done. Because if you remember the other day when I reported on that, I told you guys that there was another company that was supposed to get like $40 million. They had a contract for like $40 million. And then Elon had one for like $400 million. Okay, it was million, not billion. Here it is right here. But like I said, if Biden had already given him the contract, then can't blame that on Donald Trump. Can't blame that on Donald Trump if Biden's the one who initially gave him the contract. I don't see that as I'm looking for it. But I do recall reading in that other article that Elon did have some sort of contract before. So, yeah, measurements that Biden gave him 3 contracts. Exactly. Okay. So that all been said. Leon said he's doing too much foolishness. Yeah, he really is. Elon and Trump. Well, I'm going to say Trump is doing too much foolishness. Okay, absolutely. Okay. Measurements that Biden is somewhere asleep. Okay, and so here's the thing. Like I said, whether it's a conflict of interest or not, we can't really blame Trump for it because Biden's the one that gave him the contracts. And it is more fair if other people are allowed to have government contracts too, not just Elon. Okay. So above all the drama, so y'all know Elon is on that ketamine. I mean, you know, people have said that he has been on some sort of illegal substances in the past. I have heard that before. Don't know that he's on them now. You know, he just might be a little socially awkward, which is what he is in my opinion. Like, and share. Now, I'm going to go to this report where they say DOGE update, more findings and more fraud. Imagine, for example, Democrats getting caught cold in the middle of a bank heist, and the bank robbers aren't the victims. The American taxpayers are. Measurement says his entire family is awkward, okay? I'm Rifling Christ says, I think now that he's involved with DOGE, once that contract ends, it should be renewed because then it will be a conflict of interest. Absolutely. I agree with that, beloved. I absolutely agree. And there lies the problem, okay? Because like I said days ago, that could give him an advantage on his competitors. Okay, so anyway, let's get into it because I'm going to share my screen so you all can hear this.
$2 billion buying migrants cars and homes and giving them seed money to start businesses. Now Jose has a Cadillac, a bungalow, a side hustle, and a credit score of 740. Did we buy cars and homes for folks in North Carolina after Helene? And Biden's EPA couldn't get the money out the door fast enough.
An extremely disturbing video circulated 2 months ago featuring a Biden EPA political appointee talking about how they were tossing gold bars off the Titanic, rushing to get billions of your tax dollars out the door before Inauguration Day. The gold bars were tax dollars, and tossing them off the Titanic meant the Biden administration knew they were wasting it.
Right before Christmas, Biden's EPA gave the Climate United Fund $7 billion. This climate fund looks like a slush fund to funnel cash to Joe's donors for pet projects. We looked to see who ran the fund and went to the board of directors page. They scrubbed it. It's all gone. They took the money and ran. That's why Trump calls it the Green New Scam. DOGE is saving over $1 billion a day chasing this trash down, and Democrats are acting like they're getting carpet bombed.
What does that mean when an unelected billionaire can waltz into our agencies and slash and burn the whole thing to the ground like a Taliban terrorist?
Only a Democrat thinks defunding cocaine puppies is terrorism.
Let me tell you all something. I want you all to pay attention to something that's very important. Hold on. So T says, why are Democrats so outraged that we put a felon who is out on bail for $200,000 in the White House? He was found liable for S abuse and business fraud. Why don't people like that? Well, here's the thing. The Democrats don't care about that. What makes you think that's what they're outraged about? They're not outraged about that, beloved. What they're outraged about is that they're being caught in their frivolous spending, in whatever they've been doing, likely something corrupt, in my opinion, with that money. Okay, with taxpayers' dollars. That's what they're outraged about. They don't care anything about Trump being a criminal. If they were so concerned about Trump being a convicted felon, they would have never allowed him to be in the White House. And make no mistake, beloved, we collectively, whether you voted for him or not, we didn't put him there. They put the presidents in office. The presidents are selected, not elected. They put him there. So you think they care about him being a 34 times convicted felon? They don't care about that. All they care about is their pockets. That's what they're upset about. That's why there's all the outrage. They're mad about that. Okay, but let's continue.
Bill Clinton fired almost 400,000 federal bureaucrats. No one called him a terrorist. We called him Slick Willie. And Trump and Elon are offering very generous buyouts. 75,000 workers have already took him up on it. The retirement cave hostages are working 24/7 processing all this paperwork. Trump's doing exactly what Obama wished he did.
One of the commitments that I made to the American people was that we would do a better job here in Washington in rooting out wasteful spending. We don't need to wait for Congress in order to do something about wasteful spending that's out there. Cutting waste, making government more efficient is something that leaders in both parties have worked on. We haven't seen as much action out of Congress as we'd like, and that's why we launched on our own initiative the campaign to cut waste.
And here's further how you know the Democrats are full of crap and how they're just a bunch of hypocrites. Because here's the thing. Listening to all that Elon has supposedly found, listening to all of the foolishness, okay, the insidiously obtuse things that they're claiming this money has been spent on, why aren't they themselves outraged? Why aren't the Democrats demanding answers as to why money has been spent on these foolish things? Why aren't they going in on USAID? Why don't they have a myriad of questions about the Pentagon spending and all this other stuff? Why? Because they already know what's really going on with that money. They know what's really going on with that money. Why are they more upset at what Elon's finding? Or, I'm sorry, why are they more upset that Elon is finding things than they are about what it is that he's finding? You don't think they should be infuriated themselves, asking why in the hell billions of dollars is going over to different countries for bull crap? Y'all don't think they should have any concerns or questions about that, but instead they're complaining that Elon's going in there and we don't know what all they got on us. Yeah, that's why Maxine said that. Okay, please pay attention. Elon's hurting their pockets. And quite frankly, like I said, I don't care if Elon is the Antichrist, which I absolutely think that he is. But the Antichrist right now is in there finding out where the hell all that money's been going. And I, for one, want to know. All right?
So Obama said he didn't need to wait for Congress to cut waste, fraud, and abuse. That's funny. The New York Times has always covered government waste under Obama, Clinton, Bush, everybody. Yesterday, the Times reported the federal government loses between 233 to 521 billion a year to fraud. And in the same week, the Times writes this headline: Musk asserts without proof that bureaucracy is rife with fraud. Without proof, the Times just reported the proof. And it's based on the government's own accounting. This is why no one trusts the media. DOGE is a blessing from the heavens above. The Wall Street Journal puts it this way: even Ronald Reagan, the great apostle of smaller government, couldn't achieve in 8 years what Mr. Musk has done in 3.5 weeks. The billionaire businessman is less apostle than avenging angel. The Department of Government Efficiency is the change we've been waiting for. The Democrats got caught cold in the middle of a bank heist. DOGE walked into the vault. Democrats were stuffing wads of cash in their bags, and they're mad that Musk is telling them to put the bags down. The bank robbers aren't the victims here. The American taxpayers are. Fine.
I'm sorry, but no lies detected. No lies detected. That was a great analogy. Okay, they're in the vault, robbing the bank, putting cash in their bags, and Elon comes in there and says, hey, drop those bags. Where do you think you're going? Where do you think you're going? Okay, please. Measurement says, imagine being in politics for 6 years, salary $130K a year, and in that last 3 years, you become a multimillionaire, net worth from $500K to $13 million. No one knows where money came from. Exactly. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about right here. This is what I'm talking about right here. They know where that damn money's going. It's going to their pockets and their bank accounts. And they're living lavish while the rest of us have to struggle to survive. While people can't get adequate health care and all sorts of nefariousness goes on. People out here living on the streets that fought for this country can't even get their full 100% of their veterans benefits. Okay, and I should know because I help veterans. I fill out paperwork for some of these veterans to get their benefits. So this is just all a whole load of BS. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. All right, and thank you for your insight into the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings.
Finally, Trump hired a rocket scientist with an IT department to root out the fraud, and the Democrats are against it.
Who the hell voted for Mr. Musk? Who the hell voted for, excuse the phrase, a guy who calls himself Big Balls?
No one voted for Musk. So what? No one voted for Fauci either. You voted for the president, and he appoints people. And why are we even having this conversation? Trump ran on reform and won on it with Musk at his side. And Musk is doing everything under a national spotlight. He's not hiding in the shadows like Soros.
And I'm going to say this too. The Democrats are so full of it. You know what? It just dawned on me. So, you know, they didn't, Fauci, that's the truth. Fauci was not elected. But they had him waltzing out there on stage, just giving orders. And then let's not forget about Mr. Bill Gates. Who elected him to do anything? Okay, he doesn't have he's not a biologist, a scientist. He's not a medical doctor. Okay, he's not trained in epidemiology. He's not a virologist, but yet he's in charge of giving people venom. Globally going around telling people what they need to do as it pertains to health. No, I'm sorry. Nobody elected him, but the Dems allowed him to do what he did. Him and Dr. Fauci.
Financing open borders and crime waves. These people are never going to learn. After getting humiliated by the Russia hoax, Maddow's back to spreading conspiracies.
Elon Musk has apparently somehow convinced the United States government, specifically the United States Department of State, that the taxpayers of the United States of America should spend $400 million buying, quote, armored Tesla production units. Isn't it great and definitely not at all illegal or profoundly corrupt? Definitely not ripping us all off to pay themselves, right?
Donald Trump didn't give that contract to Elon Musk. Joe Biden gave it to him. Even liberals are calling Maddow out. The 400 million armored Tesla story is a fake scandal in a sea of real graft and horror. And there's a difference between Musk winning competitive bids to provide armored trucks to diplomats in dangerous countries and contracts going to Greek DEI consultants, Caribbean sex change surgeries, and hamster cage fights. Rachel should stick.
Not when he said hamster cage fights. This is all just a darn shame. Okay, Ishel said, and didn't Biden pardon Fauci? Yes, he did. He absolutely did. Okay, the nerve of him. And the fact that he pardoned him, to me, says that he knows that he should be in prison. Okay, now they can sit there and say, oh, he pardoned him because Trump's going to get, get revenge on his political rivals and all that. Well, how was Fauci a political rival of Trump's? No, they pardoned Fauci because he already knew that Fauci needs to be in prison anyway. Okay? Now, Giggle says, next on the to-do list, Elon tells us the foul things that the Republicans have done with our money. If he's going to tell it, then he needs to tell it all. Oh, he needs to. And I have a feeling that he absolutely is going to, beloved. I'm telling you, this is money laundering. As far as I'm concerned, they have been laundering money. Okay? That's what they have been doing. All of this wasteful spending, this money is in their bank accounts. Y'all know they weren't paying for no damn hamster fights. Okay, who wants to watch that and why? This is all a load of BS. Truth over everything said, and the nerve of them trying to sneak in a raise for themselves last year, but it got stopped. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. They sure did. Y'all remember that? Tried to give themselves a darn raise after they already been putting pounds and pounds of money in their pockets. Okay? Allegedly. I mean, this is a darn shame. But, American taxpayers are the ones who continue to suffer. At the end of the day, this is just all a whole lot. I want you all to pay attention. Now, I could have sworn, hold on, beloveds, I could have sworn nope, that's not it. I could have sworn I had something to tell you guys about Medicaid and Medicare, but hold on. Now let's go to this next clip. Everyone hit that like button. Thank you in advance. Yeah, because here it is right here. This is from some days ago, but Lisa Booth said government is money laundering. Government is a money laundering operation for politicians. Didn't I tell y'all this? I just want y'all to pay attention because this is exactly what I said, honey. That's exactly what they've been doing. That's exactly what they've been doing. Giggle said hamster fights. They even bought little boxing gloves for him too, I heard. Giggle, stop lying. Now, you know darn well. You know good and well they didn't buy any darn boxing gloves for those darn hamsters.
We love talking to Lisa Booth. She's so smart and a great writer. So when you heard all what we just played, I mean, let me back up. Even now, top Democrat Jared Golden told the Washington Post, what the Democrats are doing, it's not effective. He's frustrated by their fear-mongering hysteria. He's saying if Democrats, quote, make everything DEFCON 5, then eventually nothing is DEFCON 5. I mean, the Democrat credibility has fallen out of bed and down the stairs. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I'd love to come to the dinner with Larry Elder, particularly if David Asman is paying. So I just wanted to invite myself to that. But, look, what we're seeing now is a large part why Donald Trump was elected. Americans finally wanted to be put first, especially after being put last under this previous administration. And if you're going to cut spending, you would want to start with foreign aid, because when you're $36 trillion in debt, the money that we are spending should be for our benefit, should be directly for Americans' benefit. But we know that Democrats aren't outraged over the idea of cutting spending. They're outraged over the idea of cutting off the spigot to, their Democrat friends, their NGOs, their aid workers, and I think what we're going to find out at the end of these 4 years with President Trump during the second term is just how much of government really is a money laundering operation for politicians to enrich themselves and their friends. And so ultimately, I think that is what this is all about, particularly when you look at the outrage over USAID.
Yeah, USAID. By the way, USAID naturally fits inside the State Department anyway. I mean, half of their workers were actually outside contractors. So we know that 65,000 people, by the way, federal workers, did take the Trump buyouts. You mentioned USAID. Let's get your reaction to this USAID whistleblower on what's really going on. We're showing the USAID waste that's revealed. Lisa, they wanted to spend $150 billion in taxpayer money.
Okay, so we already know about all of that, but I want you all to pay attention because they were out there, with signs saying nobody elected Elon, and just going in on him and Trump. It was all hilarious to me. They were so adamant and they were so mad. But the interesting thing is when some of us were protesting Bill Gates and Fauci and the things that they were telling people to do, well, they told us to be quiet. They censored us. We couldn't say certain things. Okay. Do y'all remember that? Now they want to get out here and protest and talk trash. The Democrats, that is, they can sit down somewhere as far as I'm concerned. That's what they can do. All I can say is somebody give Elon another shovel so he can keep digging. Okay, period. Okay, now listen to this. Here's where Trump's government layoffs are. As Medicare and Medicaid services, FDA and CDC reportedly cut staff. So let's talk about it because this came out today. The federal government is in the process of firing thousands of employees at federal public health agencies, reportedly notifying officials over the weekend about cuts to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. I told you all I had something about that. Now, as well as Food and Drug Administration as well. So as the Trump administration carries out mass layoffs at various federal agencies amid large-scale budget cutting efforts, okay, things are turning hectic and people, are delving into chaos. So some 5,200 probationary employees across the National Institutes of Health and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are being targeted for layoffs, according to multiple outlets, with Bloomberg reporting Sunday that employees at the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and the Food and Drug Administration were also laid off Saturday evening. The number of terminated employees is still unclear. So, Department of Energy. Okay, so as many as, let me tell y'all something, Department of Energy, I'm willing to bet that bald-headed guy, you all know the guy, what was that guy's name that Biden hired over the Department of Energy? Do you all know who I'm talking about? Hold on. Yep, that's him, Sam Britton. Now, I'm willing to bet you $1 to a dime that Trump hurried up and got rid of him. Okay, I can guarantee you that. Y'all remember him, Sam Britton? Let me show y'all who that is. This is the guy that Biden put over the Department of Energy 4 years ago. Y'all see him? Y'all remember him? Biden hires role-playing fetishist for nuclear waste posts. A role-playing fetishist is who he hired. Y'all remember that? I bet you Trump got rid of him real quick. Measurement says Letitia talking about Meals on Wheels cut and the seniors being serviced came back and said cut it because they never show up. Oh, you talking about Letitia James? Yeah. And so they never show up. Yeah, exactly. They're just getting paid for nothing. Okay. Thank you for insight to the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay. So now, as it pertains to the Department of Energy, as many as 2,000 probationary employees at the agency were fired Thursday, according to Politico, citing anonymous sources, though Bloomberg reports some department staff who work on nuclear security were asked back. Now, goes on to say that Department of Education, some probationary employees at the agency, including those from General Counsel's Office, Office of Special Education, and the Rehabilitation and Federal Student Aid Office, were notified of their termination via a letter this week, okay, that cited their performance, citing an unnamed union source who claimed dozens of employees were let go. Department of Veterans Affairs. The agency announced Thursday that more than 1,000 employees were dismissed effectively immediately, okay, including some probationary employees claiming the personnel changes would save the department more than $98 million annually. So U.S. Forest Service, more than 3,400 employees were fired Thursday, including positions at each level of the agency. Two people familiar with the firings gave this information to Politico. Small Business Administration. Some probationary employees at the agency received emails notifying them of their terminations before another email said the initial notices were a mistake, only to be notified in a third email on Thursday confirming their firings. This is all so crazy. Do y'all hear this? Now just imagine you're sitting at home getting ready for work and you get an email that says, hey, no need to come in, you've been terminated. Then before you can finish crying, okay, because you need your job, then you get another email saying, whoops, mistake. We didn't mean to send you that, so you're really not fired. Then when you start getting ready again, before you can leave the house and get in your car and pull out the driveway, you get another email that says, hey, wait a minute, sorry. I know this is the third email, but yeah, you really are fired. Sorry, just confirming. This is all crazy. Like they're playing games with these people's lives. The Office of Personnel Management, probationary employees at the office were let go Thursday. A union official with the American Federation of Government Employees gave this information, adding about 100 people were present in a video call notifying the staffers of their dismissal because they declined to take the Trump administration's resignation offer. So the union that represents workers at the financial agency said about 73 of its members have been terminated after the agency, which has drawn ire from Trump's tech allies, was ordered to stop all work. Though union leaders and the Trump administration reached a deal Friday, that agency employees won't be terminated while litigation challenging the cuts is still pending. And then they have the National Nuclear Safety Administration. Now, an employee at the agency, which oversees nuclear weapons in the U.S., told NPR that the agency would fire about 300 of the agency's 1,800 staff through the Trump administration, or though the Trump administration is now reportedly trying to hire some of those employees back. See how foolish this is? Why would you fire the people only to hire them back? Why wouldn't you just look at their personnel files, their evaluations, their performance evaluations and all of that stuff, and then see what, if they've been doing an adequate job, how long they've been there, their level of experience and all of that stuff. So General Services Administration, last but not least, they say more than 100 people were affected by layoffs at the agency responsible for the federal government's real estate portfolio. 3 people familiar with the matter gave information. And then some other officials have been fired by Trump. Okay, it's not immediately clear how many staff have been affected by widespread layoffs across the Trump administration, which are separate from the voluntary layoffs, those deals offered to more than 2 million federal employee workers. Trump's administration has reportedly made a number of other high-profile terminations. Now, at least 17 inspectors generals, the chief financial officer at the Federal Emergency Management Agency, plus 3 other FEMA workers, U.S. Coast Guard Commandant Linda Fagan, more than a dozen prosecutors who worked on cases against Trump. Y'all hear this? More than a dozen prosecutors who worked on cases against Trump. He got rid of them real quick. At least 9 high-ranking FBI agents and the director of the Office of Government Ethics, among others. So, what do you all have to say about this? Trump's getting rid of FBI agents, prosecutors, and all of that. What do you all have to say about it? I mean, all I can say is I knew it was coming, because we already know that Trump is petty, like I told you guys. And that's why I told you all, there's no way in hell that he's going to give Diddy a pardon. He doesn't forget anything that someone does to slight him. Okay? That's what he doesn't do. Al Rich says, Queen, it looks like USAID was the plug for these politicians. Now these Democrats are having meltdowns. All these fools are millionaires. The question is how. I think we now know how. Yes, of course we do. Absolutely. That was the plug, honey. Exactly. Okay. I mean, they were getting over like fat cats in a cheese factory. Okay. Or fat rats in a cheese factory, should I say. That's what they were doing. And now they're sitting there all in an uproar because they know that the well's about to run dry. Y'all are not going to keep getting all this money. Okay. Not on Trump's watch. All right. And he's got Elon in there to keep digging and find out exactly what in the hell has been going on. All right. Truth over everything says Biden had to get rid of Sam. He kept stealing women's designer luggage from the airport. I think they had him on camera at least 3 times. He was also arrested. He got a mugshot. Wait a minute. Thank you, Truth Over Everything. Don't you know that I reported on that? I literally forgot. Yes, thank you for bringing that back up. Yeah, they got rid of good old Sam Britton from the Energy Department of Energy, because he was stealing. I remember that he took this lady's luggage. I think that lady had about $100,000 worth of stuff in there or whatever, but he did take somebody's luggage and try to act like it was an accident. But so he did it more than once. With that good job making all that money. But I want you all to pay attention. You see, because This is how you know there's such a thing as racial profiling. You see, they would hire Sam and they wouldn't profile him. They think that he's on the up and up. They probably didn't even do a good background check on him. Who knows? But nonetheless, he's a whole thief out here just thieving and lying. Okay? But he was in charge of the energy department. But y'all worried about Elon Musk going in there and finding out what the Dems have been doing with all that cash, please. I want y'all to pay attention, okay? But at the end of the day, now, if that had been somebody who looked like me, they probably would never have gotten hired to that position, all right? But, you know, we got a whole felon running the show. That's what we got. Tori said they do. They probably did, beloved. Okay? They probably did. Zara said, who's monitoring Elon? Trump. Trump's monitoring him. That too, beloved. Tori said Biden hired him. Yeah, he sure did. He sure did. But here's the thing, though. Who's monitoring Elon? Probably the same people that were monitoring Bill Gates and Fauci, which would be nobody. Okay, which would be nobody, beloveds. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, I'm out of here. That's the news for now. Everybody make sure that you're on your P's and Q's and that you're doing what you need to do and getting things in order, you know, and making sure that you're following the lifelines and all that. Because I'm going to tell y'all, it's about to get real ugly. I know you all have already noticed the price hike. How many of you have noticed that groceries are already gone up? Once in the chat, if you have already noticed that groceries have skyrocketed. I won't say skyrocketed, but they have gone up. Anybody notice? Thank you, Juju. I love you to life too. Okay. I don't know how I accidentally took myself off the screen. Okay, see, a lot of you all put once. Exactly. I noticed it too. Okay, I noticed it too because I went to get some organic fruits and vegetables from yesterday, and I was going to get myself a treat and get me some chocolate covered almonds. I love chocolate covered almonds for a healthy snack. But so anyway, do y'all know that the thing said 2 pounds for $6.99? And I said, okay, I'll get these. That's still a little high in my opinion. When I got to the register, honey, that lady told me they were $11.44. And I said, say what now? For these chocolate covered almonds? I thought they were $6.99 for 2 pounds. And she said, well, they are, but this is a bit over. And I said, honey, you can keep them. I'm not paying $12. Honey, I'm not paying $12 for chocolate covered almonds. Okay. And then the strawberries, the organic strawberries were just ridiculously overpriced. But then if you didn't get the organic ones, the regular strawberries were as big as golf balls, which led me to have several questions. I mean, are these filled with steroids or what? Okay, I have questions. I have questions. I had no choice but to buy those overly priced, expensive arse strawberries. Okay, because I didn't want those big swollen ones that look like golf balls. Definitely didn't want anything to do with those, is all I'm saying. Aqua Girl Rising says she's protesting eggs. Okay. Truth Over Everything says FEMA sent $59 million to New York for immigrants after Trump put a hold on spending. That's why the head of FEMA was fired. They were able to claw back $70 million of the money sent to New York. Isn't that something? These people are doing the most. And then you heard about all that money they said they were spending on the immigrants, okay? Helping them to get jobs and start businesses and all this other stuff. While they have people who've been here, born here, and all of that, legally here all their lives, likely going to die here, and they don't want to give these people business loans, even when they have good credit. Okay, even when they have good credit, honey, this country is something else. And you know some of the things they need to do? What they need to do is they need to stop asking people for your race on your job applications. Because what difference does it make? That's what they need to stop doing. Stop asking people's race on their job applications. Okay, that should not be an issue. Second, they need to stop asking for people's credit score. Okay, nobody's credit score should be their business when you're out looking for a job. Okay, and if you have a bad credit score, that doesn't say to me that you're irresponsible or that you're somebody who's not going to come to work. That says to me that you're likely going to come to work because you have a lot of debt that you need to get rid of. It just depends on how you view things. Okay, do you look at the glasses half empty or half full? But see, they want to use those types of things to keep certain people out of the workforce. Okay, this is no different than back in Jim Crow when they had the signs on the businesses that said whites only hiring. Okay, no blacks allowed. That's all that is. Okay, please pay attention. With that all being said, I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And I will see you all tomorrow with your morning wake-up call. So until next time, beloveds, peace.
With that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got